Hi, and welcome to Toking Points. You're tuned in with me, Swaggy Roaches, founder of the pro-cannabis band Stony Doom, and now we're expanding our network in exciting new ways. This is the place where we dive into deep, honest conversations with guests from the music scene, the cannabis world, and beyond. On Toking Points, we're here to break down the stigma, share personal stories, and normalize cannabis culture. From artists to activists, we're opening up the conversation about what cannabis means in today's world and how it's shaping lives, careers, and communities. This segment is proudly brought to you by The Stash Underground Rock and Metal, the home for all things heavy and high. Before we get started, just a quick note. Many of the topics we cover are still controversial. Some of our guests have taken real risks, putting their livelihoods and privacy on the line to share their personal experiences. So while this content is open to the public, we ask that you respect the privacy and lives of those who've shared their stories with us. Now, let's spark up and talk about it. Greetings, this is Swaggy Roaches. I am here with PINCHGOD on a beautiful Saturday. We're going to chat about weed. PINCHGOD, how you doing, man?
What's that?
What's up, buddy? It's good to see you.
It's good to see you too, man. I'm doing good. Is that
Cool,
what you
man.
asked me?
What's that?
You asked how I was doing?
Yep. Glad to hear it. We were just talking about. I didn't know you had a little bit of experience with podcasting yourself before. So you've hosted, done a little bit of podcasting work yourself. You were talking about.
Yeah, I was on staff with a podcast that ran out of Lawrence, Kansas, called the ADD Podcast for a couple years. At the end, I was that nobody knows because I was an anonymous character, but I was called DJ Drippy. And then I just did like audio drops, like a radio show has.
Yeah.
I'd hit if there was like a lull in conversation, I'd hit some crickets.
Keep it fun.
Yeah, we actually had people get angry at us because it was during like the Clinton-Trump election, and I had clips from both of them that were ridiculous. They were all absurd, but
Yeah.
people were just like, we don't even want to hear his name.
Oh no.
Or we don't want to hear his voice. Like one clip I had, he was saying like, it was late in the night and I saw it. Just shit like that. My Hillary Clinton one was
funny.
I'm just chilling.
See, that's creative. That's fun.
Yeah, I miss having that outlet. I was telling my kid about it on the way over. And he was just like, that sucks you lost all that work. I was like, yeah, it sure does.
Yeah, that's how it goes,
And
right?
I have some of it because I was a little bit on the like production side of things, and so I have some of the recordings. It's just like everything would have to be mixed down again, and like
it gets scattered.
And all the relationships in that podcast just fell apart like a band. It was pretty sad, actually.
That's too bad.
But life be lifing.
Yeah, I was kind of the behind the scenes guy on one or two different podcast style segments before this. So this is my first time, hosting a podcast series. So I'm getting myself a little more acquainted with that. You were talking about you had interviewed a band yourself for this podcast at one point?
Yeah. One of my favorite noise hip hop bands called Moody Black.
Okay. Are they still active?
Oh yeah, they're awesome.
Okay. Where are they based?
They were in Minneapolis and now are in Phoenix, Arizona, I believe. Or
Oh, okay.
somewhere in Arizona.
Oh wow, that's a big move.
They made a lot of moves through the years. Like I have a EP that is mostly written and I have like demos of it that I did with them because the main person in that group is K Death, and she produces all of the music and then does all the raps. And then there's a guitar player that plays with her, but then they had some rough times. So the last project she did was EP that came out probably like 3 months ago.
Okay.
But it was interesting. It was dope.
You've kind of lived a
And
lot
now
of
I'm
different
I'm
places
sitting
too,
on
right?
music with her that I've had for years, so
Uh,
I'm pretty good about that.
yeah.
Sitting on stuff.
Maybe it'll see the light of day someday.
Waiting for my eggs to hatch. Yeah. I think
Good.
I think you might like that one. It's kind of darker and sludgier than a lot of the other stuff I do because
Yeah.
she does more like
Yeah.
industrial-ish like noise stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like the
Dig
the
that.
last major tour they did was they opened for Pucifer,
Mm-hmm.
and so like they they were definitely getting after it
Yeah,
active,
very
and
cool.
then now they're replanted down to Phoenix, and we'll see what they do next.
All right. Keep the ball rolling. You you've
Yeah.
lived you've lived in quite a number of places yourself, haven't you?
Yeah, I was born in Denver, Colorado. I always thought I was born in Aurora, but my birth certificate said Denver. Tomato, potatoes, and
Somewhere in Colorado.
but yeah, and so I grew up in where Denver National Air Base is now,
Hmm.
or DIA. I grew up where Concourse C is in a weird transplanted trailer park out in the middle of a field in Denver, outside of Denver. And then we got bought out of that, and I moved into the suburbs and lived there until my halfway through my freshman year of high school, town of Dillon. So between Dillon and Keystone is where I lived
Hmm.
until I was I spent 1 year after high school and then came to college in Manhattan, Kansas.
Okay.
And then from Manhattan, Kansas, moved to Lawrence. But then I've popped around. I've toured a lot and then stayed like extended periods in some places.
Right on.
But Kansas is home now.
Good. Did you go to school for music, something music related?
Nope. I went to a private religious school,
Okay.
and my degree was somewhat routed to go into like more like secular work outside of like working in a church.
Yeah,
But I would have had to go to more school, and I wanted to rap, so I did that when I got out of college.
I got you.
And I worked in human services for a while, like working in group homes with people with developmental disabilities.
Hmm.
And before that, I had worked as a residential advisor for Flint Hills Job Corps for a while. And then I got felonies for cannabis, and now I work as a janitor in a factory.
Yeah, yeah, because they were willing to hire you based on that.
Yeah.
That's too bad, man.
And I mean, like, I actually got into that job because my brother had worked there his whole life. So, or
Yeah.
his whole adult life.
Hmm.
I
So
just got some update from some producer or something. So I might have some beats in my inbox.
hey, there you go. So if I can ask a little bit about the felony, that's still on your record. It's recent enough. How long do you foresee
I, I,
that?
I think that I'm at a point now that I could scrape up like $1,600 and, or rough if I file the paperwork myself.
Hmm.
But this is all, I'm just speaking off of like what I remember from back when I was more kind of in the thick of it.
Yeah,
Like they're not reaching out to me to tell me like, hey, you can like
right.
uh on my last like rental background check, like I told the guy ahead of time. and it didn't come up, but it still affects me in some ways, but it's not. I know that it's not as bad for me as it was for a lot of other people through the years. I think they were
Mm.
starting to get a little more lenient at that point. That was like 2013 or 14, but it was wild. I was looking at presumptive sentence of 8 years for a pound and a quarter ish of cannabis.
Yeah, that sucks.
So, a huge load.
Yeah,
But
sure.
it was, yeah, I don't know. You could ask me more questions about it. I don't find myself talking about it too much anymore, but it definitely had a big effect on my life. Like it made things really hard for a lot of years there, strained a lot of relationships.
Mm.
And I remember like I like when I was talking to the judge, I was like really like trying to be remorseful, but it was also like granted there was a lot of students that I was like providing for, but there was also like cancer patients and it wasn't, I mean, it was still during a time where we didn't have as much access in Kansas to it, even though it was legal in Colorado.
Right.
And I had connections back in Colorado because that's where I grew up. And
Hmm.
there was like an abuse situation in a job that I was at before that. And then a whole lot of stuff happened and everybody else got fired besides me. And then they brought in another person that was like extremely high risk of abusing the person that had just been being abused in this place. And so like I gave him my badge that day and I was just like, I can't have any part of this, like,
Mm.
because I knew that at some point like it was gonna come down on me if I couldn't, like I couldn't even live with the situation. I was just like this. I felt like the most that I could say in that situation was I'm out. This is wrong. And they were like, it's only temporary. And I was just like, but then I had no job and a kid. And I was like, I got to do something. And I was a musician in Manhattan, Kansas for almost a decade from 2003 until we moved sometime in 2011, 12. But I was still working in Manhattan and going back and forth and still had a lot of connections in Manhattan because that's kind of like the scene that I was a part of. Like I've found myself in all little pockets of all the scenes throughout
Mm.
Kansas. Maybe not all of them. Like I never got involved in like the Hayes scene. I have played in Hayes, Kansas,
Okay.
but so I don't know that there's a scene there or
Sure.
Salina.
Yeah, that's fair.
But like I know artists in all those places too, but like I mean essentially it's kind of through like the Flint Hills and like but I mean I was in a group in St. Louis as well, so like all up and down I-70.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. For sure.
But Kansas City has kind of been one of the biggest ones that I've never really, I think it's because it's such a big populated area too. Like I've always known artists around there, but I haven't played a whole lot of Kansas City shows and spent a whole lot of time there actively as like an artist, but I
Interesting.
still go out there to play golf and stuff.
Yeah, I love Kansas City and their music scene. I mean, it's a freaking mecca of active artists and shows and stuff going on at any given time. But yeah, it's also really, I don't want to say it's not oversaturated, but it's really saturated. There's a lot going on. It's almost kind of hard to keep up with everything.
Yeah, I mean, there's enough rappers there. They never needed me to show up and do anything.
Apparently.
But I've always had love from certain people out there, and like haven't ever got involved in any of the like politics through the Kansas City scene. Sometimes it gets pretty
Really.
pretty rugged. around, and just like definitely complaining as in a lot of scenes and stuff, but like
Yeah.
I never had to be a part of that. I was always just a visitor. And
Yeah.
everywhere I go, I feel kind of like a visitor, like a roaming alien.
The traveler,
Yeah,
the
for sure.
drifter artist.
Yeah, I don't feel like after that felony, I don't, or felonies, uh, I definitely wasn't able to drift as much. And
Mm.
and then I retired because I went by Dropjaw from like 2004 through like 2016, I think, is when I like kind of put that project to rest,
Hmm.
and then started working on the Pinch God material. And I don't have like a full breadth of like Pinch God material yet, but I've got a lot of people that want me to do stuff and want to be a part of putting it out there and putting it around when we get our shit together.
Hell yeah. Do you have anything published at all right now with that project?
Under Pinch God, there's one song with an artist out of Topeka, Yefta,
Mm.
and it's called 4 a.m. And we recorded it after a show we did at the Press in Manhattan, Kansas.
Oh yeah.
And I stopped by his house, and it was 4 a.m. and we are like, let's record this song. And
That's great.
that's what came out. It's kind of a heady one. It's like I wouldn't say it's political as or philosophical. It's somewhat esoteric, but it's I'm really proud of it.
Good. That's was that after the hip hop showcase?
Yeah,
That's awesome. I saw you guys at that
the
show
it's
that
the
night.
Cirque du mixtape.
Yes, Cirque du Mixtape. Yeah. Did I get a chat with you that evening? Did I see you there? I know I chatted with Yefta. I don't remember
We
if I.
probably saw each other a few times here and there. Like,
You know what? I think you were actually up on stage. Did you play like one of the last sets towards the end?
yeah,
I think you were on
yeah,
stage when I came through.
I played the second to last, and then
Yeah, that's right. Because then you guys were up there freestyling through the end of it. Yeah. So I didn't get to chat with you, but I saw you performing and I chatted with Yefta. So that's kind of cool. I'll look forward
yeah,
to finding that song after this.
yeah, I loved that there was a hip hop, a completely hip hop show at the Press,
Yep.
because like I was a hip hop artist in Manhattan, Kansas for years, and often I was playing with bands. Like that's how
Yeah.
I was able to do it. Like there were some artists around town, and I played shows with quite a few of them, but like usually someone was quitting by the time like I
Hmm.
was figuring out about them, you know, and like,
Dang it. Yep. Yeah,
but
they
like,
come and go a lot, but yeah,
yeah, like,
not just scenes and towns that ebb and flow, but also the genres within each scene can ebb and flow a lot. So
yeah, and I've seen it all through this area for a couple decades now, and
sure.
it's uh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful that everything keeps going. Like, and I've seen people thought that their scene was the shit, and then people move on, and then it's like, oh, I guess now we can't be so like up our own ass, and maybe we will like consider like that other people make art too besides us when we're like in college for 4 years.
Yeah. Well, it makes you, I don't know, it makes me think about how uh times come and go and each show can be a special moment. Gives me that
Yeah,
fear of missing out feeling a little bit. So,
yeah, and I'm really grateful that I can still do a show and have people show up, you know, like, and I've been that way since the beginning, because
yeah.
like coming up in Manhattan, Kansas, like even outside of hip hop, which it was hard to find hip hop shows, like it was hard to find shows in general, especially the years I was there, starting in like 2003 on. And we just kind of built shows ourselves. Like I was part of when Dusty Bookshelf started doing shows. the Ghost Parlor when they started doing shows. I had a house called the Dugout.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was there when Eric pretty much decided to start doing shows at Church of Swole. I was like
Yeah.
working out with him. I'm like, you should do shows here
That's great.
because I love music, and
Yeah.
there's something to be said about music coming from a place that nobody else is doing it, and you have to do it yourself.
Yeah.
It's just like there's a different energy to it than something that it's
That,
easy to get out there and
yeah.
access, like
Agreed.
places to play. Like I've played for a lot of people that like weren't comfortable with me playing, and I wasn't comfortable with them seeing me play. But like the show goes on, and then
Yeah.
sometimes you find common ground. And I mean, I always hated when people would be like, "You're the only rap I like," and I was like, "Why?" Because like the
I
way
guess you
my
haven't listened to much.
the way I look, you
You're
know.
right. What does that mean?
But and I mean, I knew what it meant a lot of
Mm-hmm.
times, but at the
Mm-hmm.
same time, like I've attracted more flies with honey than vinegar. But I've been a spicy person in my art and in
Yeah.
things I talk about too. Like I don't like I've always wanted to just like talk about the real shit.
Yeah. I think that's engaging and raw and yeah, creative outlet. It's good for you. It's good for you and it's good for people to hear.
Yeah,
Well, let me ask you some of these questions. We're just eating up time, just chatting, having a good time, but I did write some questions. So, why don't you
I
tell
read them.
me, why don't you tell me what your favorite method of consuming is? Joints, bongs, vapes, edibles?
Um, living in Kansas, I like concentrates a
Mm,
decent amount just because like I'm not walking around loud like it's not other people's business.
yeah, yeah,
And I mean, like, as much as I like the smell, like, it's an abrasive smell.
yeah, yeah, very true. It
But
often does hit you like a skunk.
I like water. I like smoking through water,
Nice.
so that's enjoyable. But for the longest, and even how I got the name Pinch God is like I've always I don't even know if I would call it micro dosing or whatever, but like it only takes a little bit. And so like I'm a pretty conservative smoker, I guess.
Yeah, that's
So
great.
like I mean like I grew up on knife hits
Nice.
because we didn't have anything to smoke out of.
Hot
So just
knives.
yeah,
Yeah,
hot
dude.
knives, you know.
Yeah, dude. The OG dabs.
Yeah. It's better for you than a can, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, that's in hindsight, that's so true. I've learned
We couldn't afford apples when I was a kid.
that. Don't waste those apples. That's good nutrients. If you're gonna smoke the apple, you better eat it too afterwards.
Yeah. But I've definitely rolled a piece of foil around a pen and then bent it over. Like that's the second way.
Yeah,
I smoked out of a wrench for a long time. I mean, I'm not super young. I'm 41.
sure.
So in the late 90s, like you could go get one of like five varieties of pipes at a smoke shop that probably wasn't even advertised as a smoke shop, you know, like
Yeah,
a couple places in town. And this was like I grew up in Colorado, and I mean, I grew up in
right.
Colorado during marijuana prohibition. So like it was around, but it was still stigmatized as much as it is in Kansas now, if not more, because people's ideas have changed. I've seen even living in Kansas, which is still feels like it. We're going to be one of the last states to be legal.
Yeah, yeah, I don't doubt it, unfortunately. But we don't have to accept that as fact. I'd like to think that, us as the citizens of the state do have some power of persuasion towards our representatives to make some change sooner than later, instead of just waiting and hoping someone's going to pull their head out of their ass and help us out.
Yeah, I got my stripes in that war.
Absolutely, you did. Sounds like it. Purple Heart,
And
buddy.
it feels good that it is coming to an end at some point. But at the same time, like the way things are now is we could see some waves and fluctuations in it, but like good luck trying to get cannabis to not grow in the United States of America.
Right, right. Yep,
I
I
could
think we've
I
all at
could
least come to
probably
realize
drive.
that.
I bet I could find some in a ditch somewhere like within a mile.
Yeah, probably wouldn't take you long. Yep. It's all around us. It's a plant. It's got lots of benefits. So I think we're all coming to realize that. It's just a matter of making the laws reflect on that better,
Yeah.
making peace with that, not wasting time and resources, trying to outlaw something that's not going to go away.
Yeah, I found out recently I'm not allowed on any military bases. I was trying to go play golf.
Oh
I
yeah,
was just like, oh, okay.
it's a private course to you, buddy.
Yeah.
Dang it.
Oh well.
See, legalize cannabis so my homeboy PINCHGOD can play golf on military bases.
Yeah.
That's all we're saying.
I want to beat some soldiers golf.
Gentleman's game.
Yeah, certainly.
PINCHGOD, what roles does cannabis play in your music career? Do you utilize it for creativity or writing?
I think it has a place in that. I think that if I didn't smoke, I would still write and write very similar to how I do write.
Sure.
Um, I think there was a point when I was first starting to use cannabis regularly, like I mean it definitely had effects on the way I thought about things and experienced life and struggles. And I would say that it's been a very helpful force for me, especially as opposed to other substances that have been far more detrimental to me, even though I have faced scrutiny as well as just difficulty navigating it being illegal
Hmm.
and also being a fairly open person about it because like it's not a bad thing.
It's not that serious. Yeah, it's not. It's not.
I can list a lot of worse things to do.
Absolutely. Yeah. I won't sit here and tell anyone that it's perfect or flawless or without, ill-wanted side effects, but yeah, certainly a lot worse things, and the potential benefits far outweigh any possible negative side effects or outcomes, in my opinion. So,
It's a lot better than this nicotine that I'm vaping even.
sure, yeah, absolutely. Yep. I
But
like to say that,
nicotine's good for that ADD as
yeah,
well.
yeah, right. It's got its purposes. We've all got our vices. Gosh dang it. Just let people live. Uh, don't hurt each other. Be good adults.
I got a Vice golf glove right here.
That's nice. That's nice. You're ready. Are you golfing this weekend?
I might go golf later today for sure, like a little three par three thing.
Heck yeah. Attaboy. Hopefully it's not too windy for you. We've got about
I'll
five
hit it
minutes.
into the wind. I don't care.
I hate golfing in the wind, man, especially with my hearing aid. It's really noisy. That's why I couldn't golf
I didn't know that
in
you're
high
a
school.
golfer.
Oh yeah, my like entire life. Since I could pick up a club, I've golfed. Golfed 1 year in high school, and because it was spring season, I decided I hated being out in the wind and the rain, and I'm just a summer, maybe a little bit of fall type of golfer.
I golf in Kansas City, Missouri too, and they're legal, so you can smoke on the golf course there.
Yeah, that sounds like heaven. So I might do that more often. I'll come up and golf with you soon.
Yeah. I don't drink alcohol either, which seems
Yeah,
like a pretty golf heavy pastime as well, but like
true.
I don't need it.
Yeah. Yep. I hear you, dude. Well, hey, you said you might have an interesting short story to share with me. Do you
Yeah, yeah.
you have a story you'd like to share in our last few minutes?
Yeah, one of the tours I went on, and when I first started touring, like it was hard to. I mean, you didn't want to travel with cannabis, especially in a car full of crusty touring musicians. So I'd always carry just small amounts, and so we got to Youngstown, Ohio, where we were starting the tour, and we picked up the last member that was going on tour with us. It was Greenlander, who was a noise artist, MC Homeless, me as Dropjaw, and then my ex-wife was with us on that tour, Heather. And we were driving from JT Greenlander, his house, and I heard something fall off of the car. And I was like, oh shit, something fell off the car. Because we're packing Tetris in the car for tour, and we were just getting started. But I hadn't smoked, and I was like ready, it had been some traveling, and I just got out of the car, walked to where I heard the thing fall off the car where I assumed, and right there on the ground was a joint. And so I picked it up and was just super happy. And we got it, and we like broke it down in the car, and it was like somebody's like old roaches rolled together in a joint. But back then, I mean, now I don't think I'd smoke it now. Maybe keep it like and
You
frame
still
it.
might. You still might. It's
No,
all right. I
you're
might
right.
too.
I would, because like who gave me that joint?
Bro,
Like,
those roach joints are terrible, but they get you messed up.
yeah, where did it come from?
Heaven.
This is blessings from the streets.
That's
On
perfect.
tour, like people taking care of you with that like kind of stuff, because like I'd I'd usually like get a gram wherever, like just to kind of get to the next city or like
Yeah,
get through. And yeah, so just a little bit went a long way back then, like.
just a
But
pinch.
now you can like fly with the shit.
Yeah, across some states. Now, yeah, on discussion of Manhattan, Kansas area, even superstars like Michael Beasley don't get away with flying with open containers of cannabis in states that are still
Yep.
illegal. So don't do that.
One time the BSU had Talib Kweli out to K State,
Yeah.
and he asked if he could smoke in the car,
What
and they were like, sure. And the cops were waiting for him when he got to campus.
the hell, man?
Good old Manhattan, Kansas.
That bites.
But
Yes, you can fly with cannabis from legal state to legal state, theoretically, but no, you cannot fly anywhere you please just yet. So keep fighting for legal decriminalization, folks.
definitely.
Yep, needed on the federal level, not just the states. There's so many different variables still to fight for and loose ends to tie up. So
And I don't recommend everybody do it the way I did. But at the same time, one strike.
do what you gotta do.
Get
We've
your
all got
first
our
strike in
vices.
there.
We got our vices, and we're not really hurting anyone physically or even metaphorically. So keep on living your life, dude, and keep on spreading the good word and speak up for yourself and others. And hopefully, there's light at the end of the tunnel, and we'll all be at peace and freedom with the leaf one day soon.
Yeah.
Pinch God, we'll wrap it up, man, before it kicks us off. Thanks for joining me on Toking Points, and I'll catch up with you again soon.
Yeah, my pleasure.
All right, dude. Enjoy your weekend.
Yeah, rock on.